So good day to all of our educators and learners from around the Philippines. I'm Jennifer Ozoa, and I'm a former language professor who's incredibly passionate about creating a more loving and a more equitable society. So I would like to thank Microsoft Philippines, the Department of Education and Line Learning and Development Solutions for inviting me to be a part of this really inspiring live session. I'm very proud and excited to be here today and share Active Citizen with you, made possible by Minecraft Education Edition in partnership with the Nobel Prize Center and Oslo and Games Change. Now, what exactly is Active Citizen? So, Active Citizen, as you can see in the screen, is an educational adventure designed to bring Nobel Peace Prize laureates, both past and present, into the world of Minecraft to help students understand that everyday citizens can help achieve peace through actions big and small. The Nobel Peace Prize celebrates ordinary people like you and me doing extraordinary things, and Active Citizen is a platform that enables learners to practice the values exemplified by the laureates to be replicated through play with Minecraft. Both the Nobel Peace Center and Minecraft Education Edition believe that it's very important to learn at an early age that it's possible to change the world. Kasi sa Minecraft Active Citizen, mapag-aaralan nyo yung naging buhay at mga nagawa ng mga Nobel Peace Prize laureates at matutuklasan nyo na hindi naman mahirap at hindi naman imposible na magsimula ng pagbabago sa mundo. Okay. So you will be meeting 4 different Nobel laureates in Active Citizen, and let's just quickly go over through all of them. So the first one would be Wangari Maathai, and she was a social, environmental, and political activist. And she was the first African woman environmentalist to win the Nobel Peace Prize in 2004. So Maathai as well stood up courageously against the former oppressive regime in Kenya, and her unique forms of action have contributed to drawing attention to political oppression, so political injustices, nationally and internationally. Okay, very impressive human being. So another impressive human being that you will meet in Minecraft Education Edition is Fridtjof Nansen. So Fridtjof Nansen was an explorer, a scientist, a diplomat, and humanitarian. So marami talaga siyang nagawa sa buhay niya. But in 1922, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for his work on behalf of the displaced victims of World War I and other related conflicts. So among his initiatives was the introduction of the Nansen passport for stateless persons. And this is a certificate that was used to be recognized that in more than 50 countries. He also worked on behalf of refugees until his sudden death in 1930, after which the League of Nations, which was a precursor of the United Nations, established the Nansen International Office for Refugees to ensure that his work will be continued. And then another personality that you will encounter in Minecraft Education Edition is Malala Yousafzai. She's a Pakistani activist for female education. And in 2014, so baka kilala nyo pa siya dahil 2014 lang na-award sa kanya yung Nobel Peace Prize. At 17, she actually became the world's youngest Nobel Prize laureate. She's also the second Pakistani to receive this distinction. Now, Malala is known for her human rights advocacy, especially within the education of women and children in Northwest Pakistan, where the Taliban had at times banned girls from attending schools. Grabe, di ba? Her advocacy has grown into an international movement, and according to former Pakistani Prime Minister Shahid Gagan Abbasi, she has become the country's most prominent citizen. So, another very impressive human being. Um, but today we will actually be focusing on Tenzin Gyatso. So, who is Tenzin Gyatso? So, Tenzin Gyatso is the current Dalai Lama, or the highest spiritual leader and the former head of state of Tibet. Now, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1989 for his non-violent efforts to preserve the history and culture of his people. Now, so for those of you who don't know, Tibet is actually near the Himalayas, and this is officially an autonomous region of China. The Dalai Lama is Buddhist. He's a Buddhist monk, and he currently resides in India because he is in exile. In 2011, he gave up his role as Tibet's political head, insisting that the Tibetans needed a freely elected leader. So prior to 2011, he was functioning both the head of the church and also the head of the state of the Tibetan people. But that changed in 2011. So ngayon, ang function na lang niya ay head of church. Kasi sineparate na nila yung state at church noong 2011. And so the Dalai Lama is actually one of the human beings that I greatly admire. And this is one of the quotes that I really love from him. He said, mentally, emotionally, and physically, we are the same. So it kind of doesn't matter what we look like, and it doesn't matter where we came from because we are all human beings. And actually, meron naman tayong ganitong konsepto din sa Filipino. If we think about and reflect about the concept of kapwa at pakikipagkapwa-tao, ganun din kasi yun na at the end of the day, pare-pareho lang tayong tao. So, kapwa is this concept in Psikolehiyang Pilipino, wherein we all share a specific identity. At yung pakikipagkapwa naman ay treating the other party as kapwa or as a fellow human being. Hindi mo siya tratratuhin ibang tao. So, yun. So, as a Buddhist, the Dalai Lama also taught about non-violence. So, ano ba yung non-violence? So, non-violence is actually the process of not causing harm to others. So the Dalai Lama taught extensively about that topic. And how do you go about practicing that? So you go about practicing that through the concept of compassion. So what is compassion? Basically, it's being very kind and loving to all creatures, both big and small. And ang nakakatuwa kasi kay Dalai Lama, ina-advocate niya yung practice of non-violence, not just towards other people, but towards animals and nature as well. Dahil yung non-violence nag-extend pati sa mga hayop, he's also a very, very big advocate of vegetarianism. So vegetarianism is the practice of not eating animals, basically. So actually, kung mag-reflect din tayo dyan, meron din tayong kasabihan sa Filipino na in-exemplify yung konsepto ng non-violence. At yun ay, pag binato ka ng bato, batuhin mo ng tinapay. Basically, killing people with kindness. But I really want to make a distinction between compassion and kindness and accountability. So, yung accountability kasi, kailangan people still need to face the consequences of their actions, and that is accountability, facing the consequences of your actions. So kapag may mali kang ginawa, dapat may kasunod din na na nakaukulang punishment yon. So people need to face the consequences of their actions, but despite that, we still have to treat them with kindness and compassion. We still have to treat them like human beings. Yes, they face the consequences of their actions, but that does not give us the right to treat them without respect. Ayun. So, dahil nga advocate si Dalai Lama ng nonviolence, he also preached that change can happen through dialogue, negotiation, and compromise. We don't need violence in order to get our points across. So if we truly learn how to listen to one another, and if we truly learn how to be loving and understanding towards our kapwa tao, then war actually is not necessary at all. The Dalai Lama also preached that we are all interconnected. Lahat ng bagay magkaugnay. Sabi niya, reality teaches us that everything is interconnected. We have to think about humanity. We have to think about the world. We should have a sense of universal responsibility and work together. So our individual efforts matter. Gusto ko yung sinabi niya na we should have a sense of universal responsibility and work together. Lahat tayo may responsibilidad na maging mabuting tao at lahat tayo may responsibilidad na to cultivate a more loving and a more equitable world. And that is why our individual efforts matter, because we share the responsibility. Creating the future that we want for future generations is the responsibility of every single human being. Gusto ko yung sinasabi niya lagi na change starts with each of us. So hopefully through Minecraft Education Edition and its active citizen platform, you will find the courage and the empowerment to make a difference in our society. Hindi lang sa bahay natin, hindi sa communities natin, and then eventually in the entire world. And hopefully through playing this really, really wonderful, through engaging in this really, really wonderful and inspiring platform, we would find what it takes, the inspiration. We would find the inspiration to be kind and good to ourselves first, because when we are kind and good to ourselves, then it's so much easier to be kind and good to others around us, and that will in turn create a more loving and a more equitable community, society, and the world. And that is particularly important in the context of what is happening right now, because for one, the elections is going to start, the presidential elections is going to start in May here in the Philippines, and also there is war in Ukraine. Kaya nga sabi ni Dalai Lama na everything is related and we're all the same, and it's therefore very important to participate and actively contribute in creating communities and societies that truly embodies love, peace, and truly honor our shared humanity. So, maraming salamat sa pakikinig, and I all urge you to explore the 14th Dalai Lama's World in Minecraft Education Edition, Active Citizen. You're going to learn about his philosophy as it teaches us compassion through an immersive experience, and I promise you all that you will have a wonderful time learning and engaging with the world. And hopefully you discover that you are a proud Filipino who can practice compassion and kindness in building a more peaceful nation. So together, let's all play, craft, and learn and become an active citizen towards a better Philippines. Mabuhay po tayong lahat. Magandang tanghali.